All right. Hello and good afternoon. Happy fall to everyone out there. Welcome to A Sailor's Life Live, our program series, our virtual program series from the USS Constitution Museum in Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Emily. I'm an educator at the museum, and we are open for business Thursday through Sunday to come and visit our award-winning exhibits at our museum and learn the story of America's ship of state, the USS Constitution. And here's that lovely ship right here. And what's so cool about this program is that we talk about an aspect of a sailor's life at sea, mainly during the War of the 1812 era, so 200 years ago. But Constitution still has an active duty Navy crew of about 80 sailors who serve on the ship and also tell her story. And so we are joined by one of those sailors today. He's our favorite one. He has helped us out on a lot of programs, and he adds his knowledge and modern Navy perspective to our program. So Seaman Ortiz, Jay, you want to say hi to everybody, please?
Hi, how you doing? My name is Seaman Ortiz. I've been in the Navy about a year now, and my job is I'm a contracted hospital corpsman. You know, a thing or two about the Navy, you know that hospital corpsman is essentially a Navy medic. So when I leave Old Ironsides, I head down to San Antonio, Texas, and begin my medical training.
All right. And what's something you like about serving on Constitution?
Something I like how deeply rooted the ship is in traditions. There's a lot of history behind this ship, and with history comes traditions and culture that's underneath all these planks of wood.
Awesome. That's a great segue into what we're talking about today, because we're talking about symbols and superstitions, which are really rooted in tradition, as you said. They've been going on for hundreds of years in sailing. And Jay, can you just pan out? Where are you standing on the ship for our viewers?
So right now we are on the forecastle or the bow on the gun deck of the ship. You know this is the gun deck because all of the guns.
That's right. Okay. Good, cool. So you're one level down on the ship coming to us from the gun deck. Thank you. Jay, I'm going to start by asking you, do you have a good luck charm, or do you have something that you consider is bad luck?
I do. So I'm not very superstitious, but I am just a little stitious, and that's due to this seashell right here. I found this seashell on Revere Beach, and would you know it? On that day when I was kicking back on the beach, I saw a mermaid. Whole mermaid just swimming around. And there was no one else around. It was just me and the mermaid. We were talking and whatnot. And then on the way home back to the ship, I found $20 on the sidewalk. So I took this seashell from the beach as a memory and kind of a good luck charm to keep with me to remember that day.
Oh my God, that's incredible. Wow, I had no idea there were mermaids hanging around Revere Beach.
Yeah, they're here in Boston.
That's really cool. Wow, so I'm so glad you had a good encounter with a mermaid. We're actually going to talk about mermaids a little later because some sailors did not have good encounters with mermaids, but it sounds like yours was a lucky one. Okay, so you have your shell, your mermaid as a good luck charm. Awesome, thank you for sharing that with us. We are talking today about these good luck charms and bad luck charms because basically sailors had these beliefs. These are called superstitions. And superstitions were the things that sailors believed in. It was a belief. It may not be scientifically proven. We don't know for sure if there's mermaids, but Jay believes he saw a mermaid, and that is a good luck charm for him. And certainly that belief is something that gave sailors hope. It gave them strength, it might give them motivation, and it helped guide their decisions as well in terms of the choices they made while at sea. Now, sailing, of course, you can kind of see from where Jay is standing, sailing on Constitution was a difficult and hard job. There was a lot to be fearful of. You could fear death, of course, in a battle. You could fear death from the ocean. The ocean itself was a scary thing. You didn't know if it was going to sink your ship. You could also fear injury or sickness. You could fear falling down from the top of the sails. So it was a very scary job. And so superstitions were a way to give sailors some comfort and help give them some control over their environment. So we're going to talk today about those. And we're going to start with some universal sea superstitions. These are things that a lot of sailors believe, but of course not every sailor. Okay, you guys out there might not believe in mermaids at all, but Jay does, so that's his belief, that's his superstition. So we're going to play a game called Good Luck or Bad Luck. And we're going to go through some things that sailors thought were lucky or unlucky. And I want you guys to see if you can guess. Okay? So to start, let me pull up my screen here. And the way you're going to do this is we're going to launch a poll. My colleague Sarah is behind the scenes, and you're going to vote in that poll, good luck or bad luck. So let's start with sharks. Sharks. If a sailor saw a shark following their ship, is that good luck or bad luck? So take your vote there. Okay, couple minutes to vote. Good luck or bad luck for a shark? All right, so those of you who answered bad luck are correct. Sharks were not considered something you wanted to see following your ship. Scary creature. Sailors believed that if a shark was following your ship, that somebody in your sick bay was going to die soon. So Jay, what's a reason that a sailor might be in sick bay?
So there are a lot of reasons that a sailor would be in sick bay back in the 1812 era. Just off the top of my head, you have sailors who suffer from scurvy. Scurvy is a nasty, nasty disease, which I'm sure many of you have heard of. Scurvy actually damages your gums and makes your teeth rot and fall out. It's like a very hyper-induced fever, and it'll eventually kill you. In addition to that, sailors also suffer from dysentery. They suffer from battle injuries, such as your leg or your arm getting blown off. And we didn't have as advanced technology and knowledge in medicine back in 1812. So if something did happen like that, you were most likely, or like even if you just had a small injury, like a broken hand or your hand was cut severely, it would most likely just cut off your whole arm.
Yep. Okay, so you could be in there for these various reasons. You might have just had an amputation because your arm was cut off. So all of these reasons meant there were usually a lot of people in sick bay on USS Constitution. And so you did not want to see that shark because that meant one of them was going to die soon. So that's our first superstition question. Second question, good luck or bad luck? Cats on a ship. Cats, going with another animal. Take your vote. See people voting. Good luck or bad luck? All right. So cats, yeah, I see most people are saying good luck. Some are saying bad luck. It's a little of both. Most cats are going to be a good luck thing on a ship. Sailors would actually bring a cat on board because they helped kill rats. Sailors kept their food in the bottom of Constitution in big barrels like this. So their food, their water, all the things they needed to survive were here, and rats got in there, and they could contaminate it or eat the stuff that you needed to eat. So cats were brought on board as a way to control rats and were generally seen as good luck. However, some were seen as bad luck if you crossed a cat's path, especially a black cat, before you got on the ship. And you guys at home can try fighting the rats yourself in one of our mini games that we have. Here's a clip from that. Go down in the hole. Oops, see, there's a cat. Oh God, I hit the cat. So you don't want to hit the cats in this game. You want to hit the rats. So you guys can play this. I'll have Sarah share the link in our chat. So you guys can play this at home. Okay, the cat never came back because I hit it, which is probably bad luck. So not a good thing, but enjoy playing that. All right, next, good luck or bad luck. How about red sunsets? Red sunsets. Beautiful picture of a sunset there from Constitution that I think Jay took or shared. So our red sunsets at sea, good luck or bad luck? Ooh, okay, good. A lot of people got that one, which is, yes, they are good luck. There is a sailor saying, red sky at night, sailors delight. Red sky at morning, sailors take warning. And so a red sky at night, and this had to do with where your ship was at sea, the location of your ship, and the way the wind was blowing. If there were clouds at night, clouds are often what create a red sunset. If there were clouds at night, that meant there was going to be clear weather the next day. However, if there were clouds at sunrise, that meant that bad weather was coming in. So good job on that one. All right, let's go to the next one here. Good luck or bad luck? Starting a sailing voyage on a Friday. Starting a sailing voyage on a Friday. Jay, what's your guess for this one?
I'm going to say bad luck.
Okay, and why do you say that?
I'm going to say bad luck just because it stems, or my understanding of this superstition is that it stems back to biblical times when they say that Jesus was crucified on a Friday, so you didn't want to begin a journey on that Friday.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, so as you guys can see on the screen, you got this 100% correct. Starting a sailing voyage on a Friday, bad luck, not a good thing. And as Jay said, it goes back to the biblical times. And this is something that has persisted in sailing. A lot of these superstitions we're talking about were historical, so they were happening 200, 300 years ago. But sailing on a Friday has kept up through history. And there's actually an example my colleague told me of a famous admiral in World War II, Admiral William Halsey. So in 1942, he's with his fleet out in the Pacific. He gets orders to sail out his fleet on Friday, the 13th. Double whammy of bad luck. And he refuses. He says, I'm not going to do it. And he basically gets the order changed, and he's able to sail out the next day. So even in World War II, even now, people are still a little wary of sailing out on a Friday. Okay. Next good luck or bad luck, breaking a bottle on the ship. Here we have a bottle of Madeira, which is a Portuguese wine. Is breaking a bottle of the ship when it's launched, meaning when it's headed out to sea for the first time, is that good luck or bad luck? Ooh, answers are coming in. You would think breaking glass would be bad luck, but I'm seeing, yeah. In this particular case, the breaking a bottle on the ship is good luck and still happens today in the Navy when a new ship is launched. So basically what happens, it's a way to send the ship off with some good luck. You break that bottle. Here's a picture of it happening at the USS Little Rock launch. More recently, this woman has swung a bottle of champagne at the hull of the ship and it has exploded. And that means that ship is set to have good luck before it even hits the water. However, if the bottle doesn't break on the first time, that's not a good thing. So once again, there's still some bad luck tied into the good luck. Cool. All right. Another cool thing, and we don't have a poll for this one, but I'll just share. Another thing that the Navy does to prepare a ship before she's even launched for good luck is to put coins under the mast of a newly built ship. So Jay, I know you are hanging out today around one of the masts. The photo you guys are seeing here is the mizzen mast of Constitution, and all the coins that they found under the mast in the 1990s during the restoration. So Jay, you want to show us the mast and where those coins might have been hanging out?
Yep. So this right here is one of our masts, and this is actually one of our only foremast, which means it's the most forward mast of the ship. Now, right now we're on the gun deck, and above us is the spar deck, and this mast stretches from all the way up there down to our orlop deck. So it goes down pretty far. And then just under the mast, back in days of sail, I'm not sure if they do today. It's a little different today with iron ships, but they would slip in coins underneath the mast as a good luck thing.
Exactly. Yeah, so coins were an important thing for the ship to send off. And that is because that has to do with a Greek mythology, and that when you crossed the river of death to go into the afterlife, you had to have coins with you to pay the person operating the ferry, the ferryman. You had to give him payment to enter the afterlife. And so that's, you know, over time become this tradition of you put a coin under the mast of a new Navy ship. And my colleague was also telling me that the USS Thomas Hudner, which was commissioned recently in Boston, they put even books under the mast, some equipment, all kinds of coins. So it's become not even just one coin, but almost like a whole time capsule that the Navy is now putting under the mast. So that's a cool tradition to give the ship good luck. All right. Next question, good luck or bad luck? This seabird, which looks maybe like a seagull, it's not, it's called an albatross. These are huge seabirds. Albatross, good luck or bad luck? This is a popular superstition. Yeah, I think people know this one. This comes from a poem. Well, a poem was written about the albatross. All right, the audience is split on this one. We have almost 50% each of you guys think it's good luck or bad luck. Albatrosses were bad luck to sailors. They believed that the souls of their drowned colleagues, their drowned sailors, were in an albatross. So if you killed an albatross or there was an albatross following you, that was like you were being haunted. Bad luck. All right. Next one. Bananas. Good luck or bad luck? Jay, what's your guess?
I'm gonna say bad luck.
Ooh, and why are you going with bad luck?
I'm gonna say bad luck because I know bananas back then, well, bananas today, we perceive them as just fruits and, you know, used for comedic timing. Someone steps on it and slips, but back then they were looked on as bad luck because of the diseases and rot they would carry.
Yeah. All right, so most of you guys thought they were bad luck. Maybe Jay gave you a hint there. Yes, bananas were considered bad luck on a ship. They did not keep well. Constitution was going out for 6 months at a time. A banana is not going to last 6 months. They rotted easily. And so sailors eating a rotten banana could maybe get sick. So sailors associated banana with sickness. Spiders might even come in with the banana when it was harvested from the tropical place. Those spiders may bite sailors. So there were bad things associated with bananas, and therefore they weren't really kept on ships. All right, last one, good luck or bad luck? Mermaids. We already heard about a mermaid this morning in Boston. And you guys, you might know that, you know, I moonlight as a museum educator, but really, I am a mermaid in real life, as you can see from this picture. All right, mermaids, good luck or bad luck? Now, mermaids are a funny one because mermaids themselves are a superstition, right? Some people believe in them, some people don't. But certainly a lot of sailors did. And this one is kind of a trick question because mermaids were both good luck or bad luck. And this is a good example of how superstitions varied by the country or the culture that they were coming from. So certainly here in the US and well across the world, we know mermaids from mainly from Little Mermaid, right? This sweet singing mermaid who just wants to get to land and get her legs and land a prince. However, this type of mermaid portrayal is not the case in a lot of cultures. So for example, in Japan, the Japanese did believe in mermaids. Here's a painting of one from the 1800s. These were not pretty singing women. These were ugly half fish, half woman creatures who could make your ship drown or make your ship crash. A lot of people believed that mermaids would sing or lure sailors to their deaths, so that they were inherently mean creatures. But then on the flip side, you had other cultures, like in Haiti, who believed and worshipped in a mermaid, especially one called La Sirène. La Sirène was someone to be worshipped. She would bring you wealth, health, fame, money, all of these things. She would bestow you good luck if you paid the proper respect to her. So it just depended what culture you were in and what you thought of mermaids. Certainly, as Jay said, he met a benevolent mermaid on his trip at Riviera Beach. So that's that as well. All right, so Jay, I know you have a camera person today who is Katrina, right? Katrina's working your camera for you?
Yep.
Yeah. So hi to Katrina. Thank you, Katrina, for doing the camera. Now, Jay, how many women are served with you on Constitution? Do you know?
10, 15? I say
Okay.
15 is a good number.
Yeah, around 15.
Around 15.
Okay. So you do have women on your crew, which is a big improvement from the 1812 when women were not allowed to serve on ships. And so I asked that because women itself was a superstition. Having a woman on a ship, good luck or bad luck, Jay and Katrina? What do you think in the old days?
I'm guessing it was a bad luck because they didn't put them on ships, really.
That's right. Yeah. Women on ships were considered bad luck a couple hundred years ago, for sure. They weren't even allowed on officially, and two, on ships that weren't in the Navy, like whaling ships or merchant ships, women were considered, they caused fights in the crew, they caused jealousy, they caused people's passions to rise. So women were considered bad luck. Of course, that was not universal. Many captains, whaling vessels did take their wives on board. So it just depended. Like we said, not everyone believed in the superstition. But certainly for those sailors that had to leave their wives at home because they were bad luck on the voyage, they did still remember them. This is some jewelry from our collection that one of the pursers on Constitution, he was the storekeeper. He bought his wife jewelry and sent it to her. So he didn't totally forget her while he was away at sea. All right. And so not even women, but your own shipmates could be bad luck. And this was like the ultimate thing you didn't know. If you were a sailor on a ship like Constitution, and you might have committed a crime in the past, or you had some bad history, your fellow sailors might start to think of you as being a bad luck charm yourself. And so if the ship starts having bad things happen to it, you might start blaming one of your shipmates and saying, you're the reason this is happening. And they labeled these shipmates a Jonah. And Jonah comes from the Bible, Jonah and the whale. And so Jonah's on the ship. If you were labeled a Jonah, you would be shunned, you would be rejected, you would be teased, you would be abused. Sailors did not want you on the ship. And so that's a really extreme one that you just didn't know who you were serving with, and you kind of had to put the blame somewhere for the bad things happening. I'm hoping, Jay, there's no Jonahs on Constitution crew these days.
No.
No bad luck happening, right? Okay, good to know.
No.
All right. And so one more superstition we're going to talk about in Constitution's history. Sometimes you want the bad luck on a ship, to be honest. There's a popular sea superstition about whistling, that whistling would bring on the wind and therefore bring on storms. So you did not want to whistle on a ship. However, there's one episode in Constitution's history where she really could have used some whistling and therefore some wind. Jay, can you tell us about that great escape? Why was the Constitution in need of wind?
Absolutely. So in the 1812 era, the United States was going toe-to-toe with the Royal Navy. Now, this ship during that time frame was actually out doing conducting their missions, harassing the British Navy and whatnot. And then we come home to Egg Harbor, New Jersey, and we're trying to join up with this American squadron of ships. There are 5 ships on the horizon. So we're headed towards the harbor, and we get closer, and so we hoist up our flags to let them know that we're American. but to our disappointment, they didn't raise up the same flag. So we thought to ourselves, maybe they didn't see us. Maybe someone's screwing around in the wardroom. They're just not paying good attention. All 5 of them. Very unlikely, but we're going to get closer and raise up our American ensign once again, just so they can see us. And so that's what we did. We got even closer and we raised up our American flag. And then one by one, each one of these 5 ships raises up one Union Jack, another Union Jack, another one, and another one. That is 5 British warships that have just identified themselves, and they're coming straight for us now.
Okay.
So what we do is we do a complete 180 in the opposite direction, and then we start sailing outwards, trying to escape these 5 British ships, because 5 to 1, that's no odds, no superstition's gonna save you from taking on 5 British warships at once. So we're sailing out, we're getting away, and then the wind dies. And when the wind dies, you're kind of a sitting duck in water now. Your main propulsion force is wind. And so when you don't have any wind, it's a little difficult to get the ship moving. So there we are, sitting there, no wind, but fortunately, the British also didn't have any wind. So there are 5 British ships with no wind over here, and then you have us over here with no wind. We're all just kind of sitting there. Very,
did everyone start whistling?
Slowly, just drifting. Say again?
Did everyone just start whistling?
I'm not sure. There aren't any
Okay.
accounts of that, but if I was on board in 1812, I would have probably started whistling to bring in some good wind.
I know.
But USS Constitution and the crew, when we don't have any good luck charms or anything else to really help us out, we make up our own good luck. And so what we did is we actually started dousing our sails with water so they would constrict and tighten up so we could catch any more wind that might have escaped. In addition to that, we also started rowing our little gigs out in front of us. And what we would do is we would have an anchor on one of our little boats. We'd row it out forward of the ship, and then we drop that anchor. And then we pull that anchor in, therefore pulling us in with it. And then we did the same thing with the other anchor. Dropped it, pulled it in. Dropped it, pulled it in. And so with a combination of those 2 anchors dropping and getting pulled in, you create this effect where the Constitution is almost crawling on the seafloor to escape these British ships. In addition to that, we also dumped over a lot of provisions. We dumped over the water, food, we dumped over our grog, which the sailors did not like whatsoever. Grog is the #1 morale booster in 1812 Navy and today's Navy. So when they dump that over, that's how you know things are getting serious.
Yeah.
And so we did all these things, and luckily, we managed to actually catch a storm that was brewing just a little bit south of us. We caught that storm, and then we headed straight back to Boston and lost those 5 British ships.
Wow. That's a very, some would say that's a lucky escape, but it sounds like it wasn't luck, and it was the sailors really thinking about how can we get out of this using what we have. So that's an inspiring story. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, so could have used some whistling there for sure, but didn't matter. Constitution was victorious in the Great Escape. So we've been talking about these kind of large superstitions, these large, more universal superstitions. Sailors certainly had personal things that gave them good luck as well. Maybe in the chat, you guys can share if you have a personal good luck charm, if there's something you have that gives you good luck or that you have on you for important things. Maybe you have to take a test, or maybe you have a favorite number in the lottery, something that gives you luck. Sailors were no different. We have a couple cool things in our collection that show that. This is a letter written to the brother of William Bush. William Bush was a Marine on Constitution in War of 1812. He was the first Marine officer killed in combat. during the Battle of HMS Guerriere. His brother was written a letter by his lieutenant and telling him of his death. And what's so cool about this letter is that many hundreds of years later in World War II, a descendant of William Bush carried this letter on him in a World War II battle. And so I'm not sure why. I mean, maybe it's to remember where his ancestors came from, to give him courage, to give him strength, but I think of it as a good luck charm that he carried into battle with him. Another thing we have evidence of in the Navy is gun crews like this. Gun crews, there were 12 to 14 men that manned those guns you see on the second deck of the ship there. And gun crews acted as a unit, and on the USS President, which is a sister ship of Constitution, they found this Bible tied underneath one of the guns. And so this Bible probably was a good luck charm or some good omen that the gun crew decided to put there, which is interesting too, because sailors weren't a very religious group of people. And so the fact that they chose a Bible most likely gave them hope during a really bleak battle time. Another thing sailors could do personally to give them good luck is to tattoo themselves. You may have some tattoos that have meaning to you. Sailor tattoos especially took on a certain meaning to signify certain things, and certainly sailors chose to get certain tattoos to bring them luck or to bring them good things. And so Jay, I know, is a tattoo fan, like many sailors that have come before him. So Jay, I'm going to show a picture here of a popular sailor tattoo, which is to get the words "hold fast" written on your fingers. Now, why did sailors do that?
So hold fast is a saying you don't really hear too much in the modern Navy. Today, we've been taken over by industrial machines and whatnot. However, back in 1812, when the Navy was still a Navy ran by sails and lines and rigging, these items are very, very important. So if you've ever seen the top portion of our ship, the Sparta, you notice there are a bunch of lines, a bunch of ropes and lines and riggings. And the idea behind hold fast on your knuckles is that hold fast means to hold on to something securely and not let go. So if you let go of a line that was under tension or something like that, you could end up hurting someone or even worse, killing someone. So what you wanted to do is you wanted to get hold fast tattooed on your knuckles to sort of prevent you from ever letting go of the rigging. This also helped them when they were climbing aloft on the shrouds and whatnot.
Okay, thank you. So that was one you often saw on sailors to give them that extra bit of oomph to hold on to the rope. Other tattoos you see popular on sailors were a nautical star, which looked like this, and that was based on a nautical compass. Often sailors had that tattooed to themselves as a way, a belief that a compass on them would help them find their way home if they were lost at sea. Another interesting one we find on sailors were two animal tattoos on their feet of a pig and a rooster. Jay, you want to explain this one to us?
So the pig and the rooster, this is a funny one. I'm actually getting this tattooed on my feet sometime soon. The pig and the rooster stems from this incident that happened around the 17th, 18th century when sailors and captains, they'd be trading animals and whatnot across the seas. And there were these incidents of these ships being caught in these gales and these storms, and they would eventually become shipwrecked. But luckily, those animals, which contained a lot of pigs and roosters, were kept in crates. And you'd have this phenomenon of these crates washing up on shore with the pig and rooster still alive in the box. Thus, as sailors took that and decided that if we got a pig and rooster tattooed on our feet, that would also help us float to shore or wash up on shore if anything, God forbid, happened to our ship.
Yeah. All right, yeah, and on the screen here, I was showing you guys an illustration of those chicken crates that were on the top deck of Constitution. So another good luck thing you could put on your body to help you survive falling overboard. All right, thank you. So we're going to just do a quick whirlwind around now through some of these symbols that sailors thought were important on a ship. We've been talking about charms and superstitions and beliefs. There were also figures and mascots and things that had special meanings to sailors. One of those was certainly King Neptune. King Neptune, you may know, is the god of the sea. And he was very important to sailors. Sailors wanted to give him the due respect. They were in his domain. And so what would happen is there was a special ceremony for sailors called crossing the line ceremony, which was basically like almost like a play that the ship would put on when the ship crossed the equator. So when a ship crossed the equator, which is that middle line on the earth there, that's when a crossing the line ceremony would start. And King Neptune would himself appear on the ship. And that was usually the sailors who had already crossed the equator. They dressed up as King Neptune, his queen, as a barber, as a scribe. It was basically a fun event for sailors on the ship to dress up, be silly, and kind of bring the sailors who had not crossed the equator into this ceremony as well. So they would round up all the sailors on the ship who hadn't crossed the equator. They would pay their respects to King Neptune. And then in its most basic form, they would shave the sailors, give them a haircut, and toss them into a big tub of water and be baptized. And that's at least what we know from the accounts on Constitution in the 1800s. That ceremony has gotten wilder and crazier throughout the years. It is still done in the Navy. Here's a more modern crossing the line ceremony where the water appears to be green and being sprayed everywhere. And there's also even ceremonies now that if you cross other lines on the earth, like the Arctic Circle. This is a photo from the USS Thomas Hudner recently was there, and that is when you enter the Order of the Blue Nose. So instead of King Neptune visiting you, a sailor dresses up as Boreas Rex, the King of the North, and he will do something to you to signify that you have crossed the Arctic Circle. So a fun tradition in the Navy. Once you did that, you got a certificate that you were now initiated because you had crossed the equator. This is my grandfather's certificate from 1957. He was on an aircraft carrier, and it's saying that Joseph Bryant has been initiated into the solemn mysteries of the ancient order of the deep. So very cool tradition still happening in the Navy. Also, besides King Neptune, as he was kind of this figure that sailors paid respect to, a lot of sailors would also design a mascot for their ship. Just like you might root for a mascot on your sports team, sailors created mascots and painted them on their ships as a way to motivate them and get them hype for battle. This one you're looking at here is on the USS Massachusetts, a battleship that I used to work on. Their sailors painted George the Gremlin. So this kind of weird creature riding a 16-inch projectile, they painted on the gun turret, and he became their mascot. Some ships had live mascots. This is the battleship Connecticut in 1908. After visiting Australia, they were given a kangaroo, and this real live kangaroo became their mascot. And probably the coolest mascot I've ever seen on a ship was when the Irish ship Samuel Beckett visited us in Charlestown Navy Yard last year. Their sailors painted on this mascot, a fighting Irish Yoda. So I really enjoyed this one as well. So it's a fun way, like I said, for sailors to rally around a mascot on their ship. Jay, does Constitution have a mascot? The only one I could come up with was maybe the eagle on your stern here. Beautiful stern eagle. But do you guys have one?
Right. We actually have a lot of different mascots throughout our 222-year-old history. We've had the eagle, of course. We've had Guerrier the Terrier, which was a dog that was on board during the Battle of Java and Siam, belonged to an officer. He was sort of a mascot. We also had Hank the Hawk, He is around today. Sometimes he comes and flies around and he lands on one of the yards of the ship.
Oh,
We also have a newer mascot. It's Remy the rat. He's actually a rat. We chose that because there's so many rats in the Navy Yard. So it's one of the new and up-and-coming mascots.
Okay. Are you guys going to paint a picture of Remy somewhere to immortalize him? I guess you can't really do that on a historic ship, but maybe in your barracks or something like that. Okay. Yeah, so I have a really nice photo there I was showing of, it's Hank the Hawk. Yeah, Hank the Hawk, who flies around the Navy Yard, and he hangs out on the masts and yard arms of Constitution. Awesome. Well, this will wrap up our we've gone through a lot of superstitions and symbols and things that sailors used back in the 1800 era and still use today, some of them, which is really cool to see. And I guess I would just end by saying we are all in a hard time right now. We are in a pandemic. There's a lot of things that we're struggling with. We're going back to school, new routines, new ways to behave. And so if you have a good luck charm, if there's something that brings you comfort or brings you strength, hold fast to it, right? It's gonna help us get us through. And very much in the way that all of these superstitions and things help the sailors get through their really, really tough work on Constitution. So I thank you for joining us today. Sarah will share in the chat a couple more activities we have on our website that have to do with superstitions and symbols. You can draw your own symbols on a sea bag is one activity, and you can also tell a tall tale, which is like a Mad Libs activity where you can design a big myth about Constitution and tell that story as well. So some fun activities to follow up on. Jay, thanks for joining us, and any parting words?
No, it's been great having you guys along and doing these tours. I think it was a great topic today. I like talking about it, and hopefully you guys can come visit the ship in person. Now we're open on the weekends, Friday to Sunday, 10 to 6. So
Okay.
come visit us.
Okay. And my guess, so Jay, don't go and eat a banana now for a snack, okay?
No.
Okay, sounds good. And y'all keep an eye out there for Mermaids as well. All right, thank you to Katrina behind the camera, and thank you to everyone
problem
today. All right, bye.